Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle W3 from CZT Damy Teng. Now, this is a Tangle, gosh, it's been around, it seems like for some time. I'm going to look at the date here. Oh, yeah, it has. And like I've seen it pop up, and I just have not ever given it a try. So as I was looking for some inspiration, I thought, oh well, you know what? Let's do this one. All right. It starts off with a grid of squares, and this I usually find myself rather challenged doing. So I'm going to start off with one in the middle. I'm going to just do, you know, 3 across, 3 down. And I want to have enough room because as I was playing with this, I will tell you, not lots of sloppiness and just it's like, oh, you know, you want to like the tangle. I mean, there are always tangles that we're gonna like, and the ones that I say then become on our nemesis list, and that's okay. But I also wanted to give this a fair shake for all of us, and it seems like doing it too small is not necessarily good. And that's what I was doing, and it just looked sloppy as I was playing with it. All right, and then I mean, you can fill these in, or I suppose you could not fill them in. I always try to get them to be uniform, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. At this stage, so as I'm just filling them in, that kind of helps to see. Then I can also adjust a little bit, especially if you're filling them in, you can. This one needs to be a little. The best course corrector, just when you're filling something in, you can always make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to switch now to my 01, because some of these, especially when you're using, or when I use the graphic, sometimes it goes a little crazy. But I like to have nice, nice tight edges. Although this one, and I really need to make this one a little bit bigger. Just a little bit. And what I do is you just kind of trace or draw right at the edge, and it expands it just a little bit, and it also neatens it up. So if you have little bumps like that, it can kind of take them away. All right. And then there's a point where you just say, I'm just not going to worry about it. All right. So once you have your grid, however you want it. Now, what's neat about this is it's a lot more forgiving than doing W2, which this is a tangulation on the Tangle W2. But if you look at the link under where it says more inspiration, that's where I have Damy's step out and samples. And her big she does a big sample where she does it just like you would W2, but with this with the stroke being like a curlicue, or you could think of a cursive lowercase e, whichever way you want to think about it. And because I was looking at it, I'm like, why is that so open? Oh, because she did it just like you would W2. But we're gonna do this as her step out shows, and it's just rather neat. And like I said, it's rather forgiving. So we're going to start on one. I'm going to use the takeoff and land concept, which just means I'm going to trace a little bit over the edge of one box, do a little loop to loop, and come back and trace over the edge of the other. And looking at hers, I think also I was making my little loops maybe a little too big. So I'm making mine smaller then. What I tell you, if you have a challenge with a tangle, play with it a little bit. Don't give up on it. It's kind of a challenge to see, well, how can I make this? Am I doing something? Is there something that I'm doing that would make it better? But like I said, there's some that will just be on your nemesis list. Like I have some on mine, and I try to revisit them every so often, just as a challenge, right? Okay, so I did these both on the same side. We're gonna go to this, whichever direction you're looking at it, row or column, and we're gonna go in that same direction. And I think making these little loops smaller is helpful. You play with it. You do what you like to do. And then here, we're going to basically copy this. Like so. And then the last one. Like that. Then turn and the same deal. Although, looking at Damy's sample, she has one where it just looks like this. And she ordered some sections and decorated from here and left that as the tangle. So this is one of those where you can stop at a step and say, okay, I'm done. I like it this way. And yeah, and just be good with it. Actually, if you could take like that. It could be a border. You could do like that. Could be a border if you want to versus a fill in with a grid. Okay. So this is how she has it on her step out. Some of me is, I think I like that. Some of me is liking the little bit smaller loop. It is making it a lot less messy looking. Looks like I meant it that way. And that's it. And so, of course, however big your grid is, you can have fun with it. And then, ideas of shading. Let's see, I'm just going to look really quick again because I really liked, just because it adds some contrast. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Although, I think maybe I'll just do it on the insides here. Just some little straight lines. And I could have started all the way over here, couldn't I have? And try to keep them light so that way you don't have to worry about, if there isn't. Well, I'm just going to leave it. If I try to put a line in between there, it's just not going to be pretty. Sometimes if I leave a big enough gap, I can slide one in, but most times it looks better just to leave it and not worry about it. I'm partly thinking I could, connect all of these because that's kind of what she did on hers and do the same. I think that might end up looking nicely finished. And then I think we'll do maybe a little shading in where we've done these little lines. I'm contemplating that as I'm doing this. Yeah, that is helping. And I might combine a couple things. On Linda Farmer's little thumbnail that she does, as for her post here, she filled in the little loop de loops, and but she didn't do anything else. But I think I'm gonna maybe see. I'm thinking about that right at the moment. We'll see I'm thinking. What will that look like? It's nice because it adds some contrast. We already have the contrast of the big dark boxes, but it just feels like it needs something in the middle there. So that's or mm, or maybe just use the pencil. Now, if you're not happy with your loops, same idea with the um, boxes. If you fill them in, then you could adjust them a little bit if you want to. Hmm. I'm waiting on that thought, and in the meantime, I do like that. Yeah, let's do this. We're just gonna do putting some graphite on either side, so we'll make these look kind of shiny. And oops, give some dimension because that is always nice. All right. With this, you always have to have some of the natural tile color left in the center, so that way it looks like it's doing something. Oh yeah, see, that helps. That helps a little bit. All right, let's do it on the other side. And here's something else. I mean, you don't have to. I could have done this without putting the lines in. That might have, who knows, might have had a even neater effect, bringing the graphite out. One thing I noticed when I bring graphite out and I have lines. Oh, I didn't put any graphite there, but that's okay. Look at how much I have on my tortillon. I didn't even need it. Sometimes when there's lines, if I kind of sort of somewhat stop at a line, like right here, it doesn't look like there's a gradient. It looks like I just stopped right there, like I'm filling in. Sometimes, but it's okay. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And I still could fill in. I think I shall, just because it's like it just seems like it needs something in here. So I'm gonna do this first. See, like that one, I can definitely, I could definitely use an adjustment right there. But you could only make them bigger. So like if like that one was kind of um, on its side a little lopsided, so you can adjust it just a little bit. But like I said, you can only go bigger, can't go smaller. Yeah, I like that. I like that a whole lot. Yeah, like this one. So you can play with that. And knowing the course corrections that you can utilize is such a help, because then as you're tangling, you don't have to worry about it. You can just kind of go, oh well, right there, I might just put in a, and I'm tracing over these lines because as you can see, I um, kind of looks neat, a little bit thicker there. I was trying to cover up some of these lines that I went a little overboard. And there's nothing wrong with redefining any of your lines. The first time I heard that, I was just like, oh, well, there's a nice idea. And you could redefine it with a heavier pen if you want to. And while we're not necessarily looking for perfection with these, you do want to be happy with it. And what's fun, at least I think it's fun, is the if you're not happy with it, well, what would make you happy with it? That's a fun game to play in my book, and it's very Zentangle. There we go. Yes, neat tangle. All right. Oh, and then I'd be remiss, and it's like then you just be careful as you're neatening them up, or as you're expanding them, because what you don't want to have is to create an issue. But I'm just really feeling like we need to have a little shine on these, and this is a nice jelly roll number 10. Makes all the difference. And they're nice and juicy, so that way, there's the picture, so that way you can just daub it, and a little dab will do ya. So, neat tangle. All right, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, would love to have you click like. Feel free to share it and leave comments if you liked it, or if you liked me enough to see more. Would love to have you be a subscriber on the channel. I mentioned in the description section, I always do my own version of the step out, and then I link to the originator of the Tangle. So you'll see that below that, ways to connect with me. So again, if you enjoy my style, I do online classes almost twice weekly. It just depends on the week. And you will find that on my website. Again, the link is right there in the description. Just look for sessions or classes / sessions, and you'll see what we have going on. If you happen to be on Facebook and want to commune with some other tanglers, we would love to have you. We have a good time on the classes and in the Facebook group. So if you happen to be on Facebook, would love to have you join us. Just a warning, I do have a couple of required questions on there. So in order to approve you for membership. So just as a note, just so you know. And like I said, we have a lot of fun, and we like to see everybody's work. So, alrighty, yeah, I'm way happier with this than my playing, so that was good. All right, so with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.